Hello, this is Dan Alford with ARC Specialties. We're out in the shop. We have a special guest from out of town, Matt Peralt. He works for ATI, and ATI is one of our partners in all these projects, and we happen to have a couple of ATI-based projects right here. Welcome to ARC Specialties.
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Let's talk about this one. This project is a remote, mobile welding robot to weld parts that are too big to bring to a robot. But when you're welding, in addition to welding, we need other functions.
Exactly.
Explain what this does.
Well, let me explain how you can bring multiple functions to one robot, tool changers. It's real simple, right? We have a double acting piston on the robot side that will clamp on or clamp onto the mating tool side. Now, what makes these really special and needed in this case is you can put multiple tools in one spot, reducing the need for multiple robots. So you're saving on capital costs, you're improving the functionality and efficiency of one robot, and you're kind of limiting the amount of space you actually need to perform one job.
So what's the second tool up here?
So the second tool up here is attached to a pneumatic grinder. So Dan, I can let you speak to that more, but that goes to show we can switch off from a held welding torch, an arc torch here, to a totally different tool that's operating on pneumatics to grind.
So all of our audience that's into welding, they know that even with gas metal arc welding, there's little glass islands that you'll see on the weld, and you really need to remove those between passes. And so we can either have a human do it or let the robot have multiple functions. So this prevents us from requiring, having two robots on the job. This one worked great. So this just grips the tool, or do you tell us about the utilities?
So the tool changer aspect of it, the locking mechanism I described earlier, is the core principle of a tool changer. But what makes it special is we have all this space around the periphery to attach what we call modules to support electrical signals, 24 volt, power, so you can run servo feedback, bus communication, anything. And then as basic as pneumatic fittings. So you can take a carried weld torch, you can take a pneumatic grinder, you can take a servo driven motor, you can put whatever you want on a tool changer. We have modules there to support it.
Exactly. So this one's a simple one. We're only thing we're changing is air. Let's go talk about this job over here.
Let's go talk about the big stuff.
Yeah. This is a great job. So what you see is a riser floor off a drill ship. And what we're doing is we're putting robots on offshore drill ships, and their job is to pick up these 50-pound bolts. This one's a fake. Pick up this 50-pound bolt, put it in the hole, thread it down, and torque it to 18,000 foot-pounds. And there's no way we could do this with a single tool, so we had to run multiple tools. This was a great application for your tool changers, and it's been a big hit.
I think it's a special application because it shows how athletic and agile ARC can be with using technology with our stuff. I mean, tool changers are normally used in the traditional manufacturing space, automotive, general industry, material handling, basic stuff. But once you put it on an offshore riser and the elements, that takes it to the next level.
So we're going to run it for us. Jim, what are you going to have it do?
So right here, it's going to untorque these next two bolts. Then it's going to change tools, so you get to see that. And then from there, it's going to thread the bolts out, pick them up, and then put them in the bolt bin. And while doing all that, there is servo feedback, servo power, there is hydraulics, there's pneumatics, there's Ethernet, and there's I/O link, all going through the ATI pass-through.
So in this case, we've got two remarkably different tools, and the utilities are remarkably different. This is the high torque tool. We're able to torque to 18,000 foot-pounds of torque.
And torque to 36,000.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, Jim's been on the rigs how many times?
14 times.
He's been out offshore on these rigs to watch the robots run 14 times. So we've untorqued the bolt. What are they doing now?
It scans them again, so that way it knows exactly where the bolts are.
So what's that technology?
That's 2D laser scanning.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you can see the red line there, because we never know where this riser is in the riser floor. So the ATI tool has to transmit the signals from the laser, as well as the hydraulic power, as well as the pneumatics. And so now we're actually changing the tools fully automatic. The robot has no tool now. It's that quick.
Typical tool change happens in less than a second. Mechanically speaking, less than a second. Just over a second to get the visual lock. That's where you see all the pretty little green and orange LEDs to give you confirmation that the tool is actually held and will not drop.
So the robot knows when it's grabbed the tool.
Exactly. The robot knows when it's close to the tool, when it grabs the tool, and when it confirms it actually is locked. So you have 3 confirmations going on within the tool changer logic.
So that's our smart tool. And the smart tool has unthreaded a bolt. So if you guys can stop it at some point that's convenient, let's go walk out there and we'll look at this thing. Let's go take a look.
Let's go.
Walk on the rig. So much more complicated than our other application. We have Ethernet signals. We have multiple protocols for data. We have pneumatics. All that's going through your changer.
Yes, sir. So just like the smaller orange tool changer, the larger what we call heavy duty tool changers work on the same principle. It's just scaled up. But when we scale up, we create more space to allow our customers to have complex opportunities and applications like this. As Dan mentioned, you have several, if not more, utilities going through one tool changer that all happens through the modules. And what I like to point out is all these modules are different. They're all meant for a certain specific task, but ARC has taken it a step further to accommodate this offshore riser task. Typically, you wouldn't see laser, you wouldn't see servo, you wouldn't see pressure sensors going through. It would be typical 24-volt signals or bus communication, but ARC has taken it a step ahead to execute on something this unique.
So this is not a standard model?
No, this is not.
You don't have a standard model, do you?
No.
You have the gripper, and then we seem to be able to bolt around the perimeter whatever signals, power we need.
So we do have standard offerings for applications, but if I were to generalize it, ATI is very bespoke in what we offer. You come to us with your application, your challenges, your needs, and we are going to fit a tool changer package to suit those needs. So you may not have something that ARC has, but you're going to have something that works for you.
Well, it's been a great project for us. We're getting robots out of the factory, out of the shop floor. We're putting them into places where nobody's ever put them before, and this is a key part of the technology. We appreciate the partnership. I know this wasn't easy for you guys either, but it's worked out so well.
It was a pretty special process of going through the verification and validation needed for us to be willing to put a tool changer on a robot that's not under a roof. But it goes to show how good ARC is at what they do. And this is a project that's been years in production. So goes to show, right? ATI components, they're great, right? We have a quality product, but ARC Specialties executed just greatly beyond expectations.
That's why we're collaborating. And so this project went so well that we actually we won FANUC's Innovative System of the Year for 2023. So we made this challenge coin to commemorate that. And on this side, it's 40 years I've been in business.
That's awesome, Dan. I just want to highlight that coin. Something really special. Glad to be a part of it. Appreciate the partnership. I hope it's just as fruitful going forward.
No telling what we'll be doing next month.
I hope we send something to space.
Good idea.
Yeah.